Fiona said, I'm one of the 5 artists involved in Turas, a new project with Burrenbeo, which is funded by Creative Ireland. And the idea is to support and highlight and reflect on the wonderful work being done by farmers and other rural dwellers to combat climate change and to support biodiversity. So I get the pleasure of meeting farmers all over the country, talking about their work, walking the land with them, and then trying to write a poem in response. I was out in the Chickweed Mountains this morning with a farmer. But anyway, it all started with the Nagle family, who live near Carfin, and I met them and they told me about their work of winterage, and that led to the first of the poems, and I'll read that poem now. Come October, a farmer opens the gap between 2 standing stones, and 7 cows stroll through, bellies almost brushing each side. Lowland grass has turned yellow, backlands are flooded like callows, but high on the crags the lie is dry. The foliage is sweet as it's plentiful. Rain has filled bullons to the brim, and 6-foot walls break the wind. The sucklers follow old tracks that meander slowly uphill, past pickets of blackthorn and hazel. Among scoured slabs and scalps, they fan out wide. Each finds her own patch to graze. And through the cold days of winter, the calves they carry will thrive. Thank you. Chickweed. When everything else dies back in winter, your stars surprise like an early spring. All you need is a breeze to open your heart. Seeds of desire fly into meadows, ditches, and the vegetable beds my mother has readied for planting. A torment, she calls you. My grandmother called you tongue grass. Together we gathered clumps for her hens. We knelt to gaze at your petals, the clefts that made 5 look like 10. A salve for cracked skin, she said, and as a poultice in muslin, the best cure for mumps. But the doctor shook his head. The day of the pishogue is dead. And then the second of my poems, inspired by one of the Farming for Nature ambassadors. So a very cold day in February, I went north to Tipperary to spend some time with Sean Farrell. And he showed me his pigs and his donkeys and his cows and his fields and his ponds, loads of wild ponds that are attracting wildlife. But he also showed me caddisfly in the stream. And caddisfly will only be there if the water is clean. So in his excitement, he showed me the caddisfly home. I just want to say, if you haven't seen what the caddisfly does to build a home, you just have to get to see one and ask someone who can show you. Caddisfly. At the edge of a winter field, a farmer steps into the stream that chitters and chatters downhill from Devil's Bit western slopes. He scoops up a handful of water and praises the work of microbes. He turns over rocks as if panning for gold. Whoops when he finds a caddisfly's tubular home. Green, brown, yellow and red, grains of sand and tiny pebbles bound together with a silken thread. Thank you.